I'd like to identify the white mage mana shortage problem and then make some recommendations that I think would be fair without breaking the game, and so I am definitely tempering my recommendations keeping that in mind to resolve this MP problem after introducing it. Especially with Ultimate on the horizon, which is likely to introduce fights that are vastly longer than what we're currently seeing in Savage, I do think that this is actually a concern set that is worth raising. Lately, I found it very hard to find many white mage players that say white mage is in an excellent place. Not that it is dead or bad, in fact such a claim is fully debunked as hard numerical data fully disproves it. But they are citing it's far less enjoyable, it's far more restrictive, and it does have big consequences when we are talking about them and their perception of taking white mage into ultimate rating. And we're talking about people who are carrying the T weapon right now bringing this concern. I think that we should maybe listen a bit to them, raising that okay, we can definitely do it with like this level of piety in this kind of context with this amount of healing, but when you ramp up the amount of AoE healing, when you ramp up the duration of the fight, and then you include the fact that ultimate sets include baseline piety, now what? Before people really write this off, a lot of the feedback that I've been getting from people who have already taken white mage through Savage is that a lot of them are finding this a big problem even in Savage already. That's why these concerns are really starting to mount. In fact, talking to some of my friends, they're just like, I completely swapped off of white mage and went to Ast as soon as Macrocosmos P3S cheese mechanic, and then they never went back, citing that it was just so much easier to manage the resources on Ast. So it's not just a future problem, it is definitely a current problem. Let's, for the sake of clarity, expand on what I mean by MP concerns and kind of give you evidence on why people are coming to this conclusion. Astrologian, the other pure healer, which no, does not need nerfs, that is not what I'm saying in this video, please don't misconstrue this video to say that. I love Ast, please don't nerf it. But it's undeniable that the Astro really has 3 core advantages over the white mage here. Firstly, off global cooldown abilities usually cost no MP, meaning Ast has the upper hand in that regard, and they have the upper hand there in spades. While white mage's off GCD abilities like Benediction, Asylum, and Tetra are very powerful, they simply have longer cooldowns, as well as white mage's off GCD toolkit is simply less plentiful than Ast. Secondly is for those on GCD spells that the white mage needs to cast more of, the white mage simply has higher MP costs on equivalent skills, like Cure 2 is 1000 MP for the white mage versus 600 for Astro. Medica is 900 MP for white mage, 700 Astro. Medica 2 is 1000 MP for white mage, 800 on Astro. Even regen is 500 MP for white mage and Astro's at 400. And that's ignoring Cure 3 is a mind-blowing 1.5k MP. Thirdly, and the final nail in the coffin, especially when combined with those other points, is that Astro's MP regeneration is simply higher, since cards restore 5% MP when drawn, and 1 card per 30 seconds is 5% MP. White mage's sort of kind of equivalent ability, Assize, is 5% MP restored, but every 45 seconds. So that means 50% longer intervals to get that same MP amount returned. In a 2-minute fight, big whoop, who cares, you'll barely notice. But in an almost 10-minute Savage raid fight, that's much bigger and a much more pronounced effect. And this is why a lot of people are like, okay, if a fight's going like 14 minutes or something, what will that look like? Not to mention that Astro's Astrodyne ability is for all intents and purposes a second Lucid Dreaming, where I speak from personal experience that it takes genuine skill to run out of MP on Ast. And I'm far from the best Ast player, and even I found it very hard to find myself lowering or dipping in MP that much. Something really had to go wrong to do that. Now on white mage, you can definitely argue that they can use Thin Air and nullify revive costs, which is currently my primary usage of it. But Thin Air's 60-second recharge time and the fact that if no revives are needed doesn't really stack up to the power of Astrodyne, especially in normal play. And so the whole is really greater than the sum of its parts here. We are getting that 3-pronged gut punch for the problem for white mage. One of these on their own isn't necessarily a problem, but it is the combination of all of them and shaking them up in a nearly 10-minute long fight, demanding heals at basically every turn, that makes this a glaring problem. Glaring when we consider longer fights in the future. That is keeping in mind, yes, piety sets in Ultimate are a very, very much well-documented, well-known thing, but even with those, what are we looking at? How far behind is the white mage going to be in this department? And is there any way to account for that? Super ethers only go so far. So with the problem now identified, I'd like to really propose a few potential solutions here. Of course, I'm not like a lot of people, like I am only one person, I've talked to only a select few people, and so any other ideas I'm genuinely interested in reading in the comments. I don't know everything, I'm not going to pretend I do, but these are definitely things that I think would help. So my first solution is terribly boring. I'm not going to lie to you, but I do think it would be effective. Although I'd rather other options, I will say before I say that. Simply double the amount of MP restored by Assize. While that might not make it the same level as Astro's MP regen, I do feel that this would start to level out the playing field, because as we identified before, the cooldown's 50% longer. Okay, we double the MP, okay, so that's going to make up for a little bit of the MP that Astrodyne's getting. Obviously it wouldn't be the same amount of MP, I know that before even saying that, but I do think that this would go a long way. My second solution is a bit more fun and very much inspired by Sage's Adderskull system, and I think it would tie into the Lily system really nicely. White Mage gets 1 Lily charge per 30 seconds, which makes this a highly predictable and reliable system, and so I don't think it would be unfair to give the White Mage 5% of their MP back every time their gauge gets another Lily on it. So this would ultimately amount to an extra 1000 MP per minute, which is not mind-boggling, not game-breaking, but it would keep the White Mage actively present in the game. Now many of you probably caught on, I said when you get your Lily charge, not when you spend it. I say this because for White Mages especially, you want to be using your Lilies at very particular proper timed intervals, and often you're going to be pairing it with Plenary Indulgence, maybe using 2 Lilies at once. Or maybe you're doing a quick burst heal snapshot between damage spikes like Coherence, even though probably Lilybell is what you're going to use there. Maybe for Flow 3, I've had some really rough party finder groups for Flow 3 where I'm like, yeah, I want that spike damage there with Lilybell and Temperance. I digress, I'm going to stop. I can't help it, sorry. But what I ultimately mean by that point is I think tying the MP recovery from this potential buff, like the Sage's system, would be absolutely unfair to a White Mage. In fact, that's one of my own issues with Sage's Adderskull system, is I literally cannot sit on charges, and so instead I find myself blowing them on a Drokol, which is basically a Lustrate equivalent, for 100% overheal at certain points just for the MP return. It doesn't feel good, and I still stand by what I said in my Sage video talking about that. Don't like it, it feels so bad. My third solution could be combined with the other two for great effect. Simply reduce the MP cost of the White Mage to almost Astro-like levels, if not just normalize the MP costs. Even if you don't make them like the exact same value, just get them a little closer, because yes, the White Mage does get 1 Lily, which is for the record only 400 potency of AoE healing, especially when you're looking at powerhouses like Medica 2, which is the exact same as Aspected Helios. 400 potency of AoE healing compared to that is nice, but and you get that 400 potency of healing on the GCD through the Lilies every 30 seconds, one of them, aka 800 potency of on GCD healing every minute. Astrologian's big spammable 60-second off GCD abilities, Earthly Star, Collective Unconscious, and Celestial Opposition, all of your bread and butter as Astro, significantly outdo that. In fact, Earthly Star on its own really does basically the same thing at 720, not to mention it's off the GCD. Now, in a world where yes, I have shockingly played Astro enough that I have done this in the past, even Horoscope can be weaved on its own without buffing it. Yes, you should always try and buff it, but without buffing it, for its own 200 potency of healing without that GCD cast, making it the equivalent of 1 Plenary Indulgence proc without the need to cast on GCD. White Mage doesn't have that. Plenary Indulgence requires at least 1 on GCD cast, which I guess, to cut this argument a little bit short, I do think on GCD spell cost should be lowered to bring them closer together, especially since White Mage does need more global casts. I don't think the Lily system fully offsets that. Yeah, that brings us to the end of the video, and I'm really curious, what do you guys think? For me, I really do like the White Mage. It has actually been a lot of fun. I've been taking it into Savages and just having a blast, and so yeah, I want to hopefully see the White Mage be in a good spot.